It is exactly midday at the economic capital, Douala. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on this edition of the English Newscast. Here are the headlines. After a release from the Director of the Public Health on the temporary closure of the Hemodialysis Center at the Bamenda Regional Hospital, the Regional Delegate of Public Health, Dr. Kingsley Cheso, together with the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malashi, have stated that the center will rather be receiving equipment for its renovation. Central African President Faustin Archange Touadera has been re-elected in the first round of the presidential elections on December 27 by securing more than 53% of the entire vote. Nigerians have commenced a 3-day national mourning in honor of the over 1,000 lives lost in a jihadist attack on Saturday, December 2nd, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all for the headlines. Stay tuned for the development of these stories and more. Good afternoon once more and welcome back. The head of state, President Paul Biya, has cancelled the 2021 vows presentation ceremonies to the presidency. The decision was taken to comply with the measures to combat the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, informs the civil cabinet of the presidency, as no presentation of wishes to the President Paul Biya and the First Lady Chantal Biya this year. In two press releases signed on Monday, January 4, 2021, the Minister, Director of the Civil Cabinet of the Presidency, Samuel Vondo Ayolo, informs the heads of diplomatic missions accredited to Cameroon, the members of the national constituted bodies, as well as their wives, as well as the respective presentations, ceremonies, wishes to the head of state and his wife for the 2021 were cancelled because of the barrier measures adopted by the Cameroonian government to combat the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. The Bamenda Hemodialysis Center is not closed at all, declares Health Minister Manauda Malashi. In a tweet yesterday, he added that the facility will today receive 8 new generators and tests will be carried out for a better service. More details in this report.
This comes earlier after wrangling between the Regional Delegate of Public Health and the Regional Hospital Director over the condition of the center. Dr. Kingsley Cheso has stated that the Hemodialysis Center at Bamenda Regional Hospital in the northwest region of Cameroon is not closed, as earlier stated on Sunday, 3rd January 2021 by the Director of the Regional Hospital. According to the Regional Delegate of Public Health for the Northwest region, the Hemodialysis Center is facing shortage of equipment as 1 out of 8 machines is functioning and therefore the center cannot be shut down. While Dr. Kingsley Cheso attests that he has just visited the center and is taking measures to get the situation back to normal, the hospital is expecting 8 new generators today, as stated by Dr. Manauda Malashi. In a release he signed earlier to contradict that of the Director of the Regional Hospital, Dr. Cheso says the machines that have been in the center for more than 8 years are being replaced progressively by the Minister of Public Health. It is noted that the reactions of Dr. Kingsley Cheso, Regional Delegate of Public Health, fiercely contradicted a release signed by Dr. Denis Same, Director of the Bamenda Regional Hospital, where the Hemodialysis Center is located. In the document signed by Dr. Denis Same on January 3, 2020, dialysis patients should note that due to unforeseen acute breakdown of the machines in the dialysis center, the Hemodialysis Center has been temporarily closed and patients transferred to other general hospitals of the country pending a lasting solution to the machines of the center.
The trial of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement activists before the military tribunal of Bafoussam at open on January 4, 2021 has been postponed to Friday, February 1, 2021. The next hearing will take place on February 1st, 2021. This is the decision taken by the military tribunal on Monday at the opening of the trial of 32 militants of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, a political party, tried for having participated in the rallies initiated by their leader Maurice Kamto on September 22, 2020. All the 5 files were returned to February 1, 2021 for notification of the orders of reference to certain defendants, appearance for orders, and regularization of the constitution of the councils, according to Barrister Hippolyte Meli, coordinator of the collective of lawyers Sylvain Swap, formed to defend the defendant. The respondents are between 20 and 62 years old. They are prosecuted for cooperating insurgency attempts, prosecuted for lack of a national identity card, insurrection conspiracy, unauthorized public meetings, contempt of the President of the Republic. Some were charged with death penalty. The defense denounced the trial of civilians before a military tribunal, a special court. For the record, dozens of CRM executives and activists have been arrested and imprisoned in the country's prisons as part of the marches of September 22, 2020. The Electoral Commission. Central African Republic Faustin Archange Touadera has been re-elected in the first round of the presidential vote on December 27 by securing more than 53% of the entire vote. This report tells us more. Martin Zegwele finished third with 7% of the vote. There were a total of 16 candidates running for president, including 3 women. Even though opposition candidates have said the election was riddled with massive irregularities, the vote took place despite an offensive disrupt by a coalition of armed rebel groups, which left thousands unable to cast their ballot. The government has accused the former president François Bozizi, who was barred from standing in the poll, of staging an attempted coup. He's denied the allegations but said that he supported the rebels. Prosecutors have launched an investigation accusing Mr. Bozizi of acts of destabilization and rebellion. On December 30th, a coalition group called for elections to be cancelled because they said a third of voters were unable to cast their ballot because of insecurity. The Democratic Opposition Coalition COD 2020 said the presidential and legislative elections were not fair and inclusive and are in no way the expression of the people's will. The group condemned an electoral farce, claiming widespread ballot stuffing and a lack of observers in some areas. Insecurity halted voting in 2,115 polling stations, preventing over 621,000 voters, or about a third of the electoral CDO 2020 said. Morubu said about half of the country's electorate, or around 910,000 people, had registered to vote, and turnout among the registered voters was 76.3%. 16 candidates ran for the presidential elections, including 3 women and more than 1,500 contenders for the 140 seats that make up the National Assembly. 3 days of national mourning in the Republic of Niger, as announced on Monday by the Interior Minister Mohamed Bazoum, has commenced today in the reinforcement of security in the border area with Mali has also commenced today. This comes 2 days after the reported deadliest jihadist attack in the Sahel nation that saw the murder of 100 civilians in 2 villages in the western part of the country. The minister also announced the holding of forums to ease tensions between communities and the donation of food to affected populations. No official claims was made after the attack, which occurred between the 2 presidential election rounds and has been labeled as the heaviest toll of an attack against civilians attributed to jihadists by the non-governmental organization. The Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project NGO, which records the violence in the region. The attack took place in the area known as the 3 Borders, an area that sees the borders of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, the main countries affected by jihadist group affiliated to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State organization. Niger's Prime Minister Brigitte Rafini visited the 2 villages that suffered massive casualties as a means to boost the security in the area. Ladies and gentlemen, it is on that note that we leave you for this midday edition. Up next is Le Journal de 13h. Stay tuned and see you at 7 p.m. for another edition.